just the way it plays at a distance, but it has a higher fire rate than the C7A2 that is, and oh, nice grenade. We got not 1, not 2, not 3, not 5, but 4 new guns and Phantom Forces, all in this new family, the BREN family. We got the BREN 2, which is the second rank 0 assault rifle in the game. Then we have the BREN 3, which is unlocked at the very high rank of 153. And I'm actually not even 153. I pre-bought this gun for you guys because I'm a hero. And then there's also the DMR, the BREN 2 PPS, which is kind of funny because it has PP in it. And there's also the battle rifle, the BREN 2 BR. What the BR stands for, I'm not exactly sure. I'm just kidding. Obviously, I know what it stands for, guys. Battle Royale, obviously. Anyways, starting with the BREN 2, it has a whopping 850 fire rate, only 31 damage though, so you do not have a 3-shot to the torso, unfortunately, but that would be kind of busted because it, you know, the fire rate 3-shot, that would be kind of busted. It also doesn't have the friendliest recoil, but that's just the price you pay for 850 fire rate. Moving on to the BREN 3, this is a more stable version of the BREN 2, and come to think of it, there's no BREN 1. I don't know what happened to the BREN 1. Anyways, the BREN 3 has a bit of a lower fire rate, a bit more damage, and is a lot nicer with the recoil, but it also does not 3-shot, just like the BREN 2. Moving on to the BREN 2 Battle Royale. This gun, it's actually not bad. I'm usually not a fan of the battle rifles, but this is just an automatic one, you know, it's just like a heavier assault rifle. It has the same fire rate as the BREN 3, but it has a torso multi, and it already does 37 damage, so you can already do the 3-shot to the torso. I have actually used this one a little bit. As you see, I got 43 kills on it. It's actually not too bad. I kind of like it. And then finally we got the BREN 2 PPS, which is another DMR. Now guess which one out of the 4 of these new guns I've used the least. It's obviously the DMR. Who uses DMRs? If you're gonna use a DMR, just use a sniper. That's what I say. So I haven't used the BREN 2 PPS. If you're into DMRs, good for you. Maybe this is a good one, but we're gonna find out in a second after we look at the setups for these guns on Spezzy's setup sheet, link in the description. Starting with the BREN 2, it looks like we have a very simple setup with the Z-point compensator, vertical grip, and default and Remington actually, which is interesting. I'm not going to pre-buy all of this stuff, but I will look at the stats for each one, and by stats I mean the conversions. So on the BREN 2, if you are running Remington, what Remington usually does is just make your gun a lot more controllable, a little more mobile as well, as we can see from the stats here. Now right now the only good conversion on the BREN 2 is Remington, but 762 is in the test place, which is probably going to be the best, just because 762 is what ups your damage, which would be very nice for a gun with 850 RPM, because 850 RPM plus hopefully a 3-shot to the torso with 762, that would be pretty good. Moving on to the BREN 3, the setup we got here is Z-point marksman barrel, sideways grip, default, and 300 blackout. Let's see what the marksman barrel does. A lot of barrels here, but the marksman barrel gives you a much lower fire rate, but it also gives you a torso multi, so you can finally 3-shot torso up to a certain range. It looks like up to about 126 studs, which is actually pretty good, even if your RPM is much slower. You also get more pen, more velocity. Mobility does get decreased a little bit, which isn't a huge deal, and the headshot multi also increases a lot too. 56 to the head is a lot of damage. And then 300 blackout improves close range damage and penetration for reduced damage ranges, muzzle velocity, and slightly increased recoil. That sounds about the same as 300 blackout does for every other gun, obviously, because it's the same conversion. God, I'm so stupid. Moving on to the BREN 2 BR, the setup here is going to be Z-point, compensator, pistol grip, default, and default again. Armor piercing is fine if you need more pen. I would probably just stick with default though, even though I'm probably not going to use this gun very often. And then the DMR, which nobody cares about, but I'm going to say it anyways. TA-44, muzzle brake, stubby grip, default, and hollow points. And those last 2 guns, the battle rifle and the DMR, I'm not going to go into too much in this video. If you want to go check out Spezzy's setup sheet to see everything in much more detail, the link is again in the description, so go check that out. But what I care about most, and what you probably care about most too, is the ARs, which, and I guess this applies to all 4 of the guns, are pretty good. They're not amazing, but they are pretty good. They're simple, fun to use. You could definitely do good with them. I've been playing a couple games with them, and I've done just fine, even though I am still a bit washed. We don't talk about that though. But I also have not been using these guns with all the full attachments, because I don't have all of them unlocked, obviously. And even with no attachments, these guns, I think, feel pretty good, and I'm pretty into them actually, and I do mean that in the way that you're thinking. The BREN 2, just like Spezzy's setup sheet says, is kind of like the HK416, probably not as good. I don't really know how the balancing has gone for the HK416 so far, but if the HK416 is how I remember, then it's still pretty good, which, you know, is good news for this gun. It's got a fast fire rate, it's got controllable recoil, it's not super accurate from range, obviously, but I still think it is fun to use. It's definitely solid. On a map like this, probably not as good, but it's still a good addition to the game, I think, and it's rank 0, so it's kind of just giving you 2 options at rank 0. Not that many people are rank 0 at this point, but if you are, then you have the option between the AK-12 and the BREN 2, both of which are 2 good choices that are both great for beginning players. They have different playstyles, kind of, but, you know, it's Phantom Forces. You can kind of just play how you want, and one of the best things about the BREN 2 is that you don't need a bunch of attachments, like I said, to do good with it or for it to be a good gun. It obviously helps, and I would like to have, you know, all the best attachments right now, but I'm 5 and 4. Okay, this is not a good example, but I can do good with it, even if I'm not doing great right now, even with no attachments. And, you know, you can probably tell it's not like uncontrollable or anything when you don't have attachments on it. It's still fun to use and easy. I have 76 kills in it, and now we're gonna go to the BREN 3, which I have 85 kills on. I do like this one a little bit more, I think, because it's just, you know, it's better from, oh my goodness. Okay, hold on. He just freaking taunted me. We have to deal with this guy. It'll just take a second, don't worry. Okay, there we go. I don't think that was him. That was some other guy, but I don't care. Anyways, back to the BREN 2. What was I even saying? BREN 3, actually. I don't even know what I'm talking about now. It's good. Yeah, it's good. I like it. Okay, well, this was just an awful game. I went 14 and 10. I got sniped freaking a million bajillion times. But hopefully, if we play on, let's say, Highway Lot, I guess. Actually, no, not Highway Lot. I'm gonna get sniped again. You know what? No, I have a strat. Hopefully, we can do better. Back to the BREN 3. I keep getting sidetracked. As you might guess, it's like the BREN 2, just a little more controllable and accurate and a little better at range, which I think is preferable because the lower fire rate really isn't that big of a deal, which, you know, the higher damage also isn't that big of a deal, but I think the recoil is the biggest part, most important part, and it feels really smooth to use even though I don't have pretty much any attachments on it at all. And it kind of reminds me of the C7, which I'm biased towards because I use it all the time and it's like one of my favorite guns in the game, but it reminds me of the C7 just the way it plays at a distance, but it has a higher fire rate than the C7, A2 that is, and oh, nice grenade. And with the right conversions, it might have similar damage as well. Actually, let me see what the C7 does. With Grendel, yeah, 34, 760, and the BREN 3 with the blackout is 34 and a torso multi actually, but the C7A2 also has one. Okay, I'm not trying to say that the BREN 3 is C7A2 level because the C7A2 has pretty much been really good all of its life, so being worse than the C7A2 is not a bad thing. I definitely don't think that it's worth pre-buying at rank 153, especially because you get the C7 before that and a bunch of other good assault rifles before that, but it's still fun to use and worth giving a shot after you do reach rank 153. And I actually say don't pre-buy it even though I did pre-buy it, but that was only because, you know, it wasn't that much because I was so close to that level and because I just wanted to try it out, you know, for the content. So you're welcome. Now we're 16 and 5, which is definitely better than last game. Not amazing, but hopefully we can get that number up a bit here. Okay, well I finished 64 and 27, which is respectable, I guess. Pretty upset though, I feel pretty washed. I was just using the BREN 3 the whole time, and it does feel pretty good. I do recommend it. But anyways, if you want to see more about those guns and their setups and all the details and stuff, go check out Spezzy's setup sheet in the description. But anyways, that is all I got for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider dropping a like and a sub, and until next time.